7.28 has been around for a while. We understand what Hoodwink has been doing. I think that this hero has a lot of potential outplay. You know, it's an amazing hero in and of itself. It's like Squirrel, Windranger. Kind of felt like they borrowed a lot, and it's actually kind of cheating in that sense. I think it's very simple in what it's bringing to the table. Acorn Shot, as you can kind of see what's going on in the background, you just click on it. You can either click on the hero or any of the creeps, and it'll just bounce an acorn all around and just does straight up damage. In terms of like what Witch Doctor's cask does, minus the stun, or you can just plant a tree and have it bounce around like this, right? So the potential damage is quite high, especially if the heroes are very close. And in a one-on-one, it's not as great. But in more of the one-on-one, I think the tree placement is the biggest thing. Like, you don't want to place it right on the open. I think that this is kind of silly just to kind of, but it's just to showcase what it is. But if you're like running away, you plant the tree here, block line of sight, let it do some damage, and then scurry away. So the second big ability, and I'll get to, what is this called? Bushwack. But let's go to scurry here. This one is, think of it like Weaver, in the sense that you lose all pathing, or you gain pathing, and you can just kind of tree walk through. Think of it like Treant. Very similar in style, what you're going to do. Bonus movement speed, the phase collision, all of that stuff is great stuff for getting away. And it makes it very difficult, especially when you can plant the acorn tree. Acorn Shot. Which should be called the acorn tree, but let's be honest there. But okay. So another thing that I've noticed is that with scurry, is that, and we'll go into it now, is that you can actually... Oh my god, it's so ugly. It's the most hideous thing ever. And hang on, let me just see. Oh my god, you see the long neck? I hope we can clip that. But that was actually disgusting. Alright, let's go into this one. And my load screen has not changed. But let's... So one thing to note. Level to max. Watch this. Alright, they had this in the beginning. Look at this. So you're invis when you're next to trees. So it's like the treant. Hoping gets pest change. When activated, gains bow moves. Like, it doesn't say this anywhere. Right? Scurry, what the hell? Valve, get your shit together. Like 32 evasion, that's part of this. I get that. But this piece, scurry camouflage. You're invis? You know? When you're next to it. So you're like a treant in that sense. Yes, when you step away or whatever. When you move around, it goes away. But this seems really underrated in terms of what this hero can do. Right? Yes, it's not as good as treant, but this is like a hodgepodge of everything in the sense that, like, oh my gosh, what is this bug? What is this going on? But basically, like, being able to stay here, ambush, and then the fact that you can create a tree, and then you could also scurry next to it. I mean, yeah, this looks suspect, but the potential for, you know, ambushing is quite high, right? All right, I just needed to show that case that, because it's not anywhere in the actual tooltip itself. So this seems to be a little bit of an oversight in terms of what Valve had wanted to do. Second thing is, and let's go back. All right, this one is the bread and butter. I think that you're going to see good Hoodwink players and then how this one plays out. But basically, you just throw out an AoE, and it'll pull everybody towards that tree. If there's a tree nearby, it'll stun everybody, right? So if we're talking about... Hang on, what is the actual... I can't highlight it? What the... All right, I'm not going to see the actual the point. But the AoE was... I think it was just nerfed to recently 275. It was like normally 325. It's insane in terms of that AoE. But basically, if you're like, place it there, anybody nearby the tree, it'll latch onto the tree. Like, look at this. Like, you don't need to shackle, you know, line up your shots like Windranger. So this makes it the easiest thing in the world. Plus the fact that you have Acorn Shot, which is synergy or, you know, just absolute brokenness, where you can create the tree and then you bushwhack on top and then it latches onto that tree. So how difficult is that? Not very difficult at all, right? And the final piece of the puzzle is, I can't click on it. It is actually going to be Sharpshooter. Think of this as like a long-range assassinate. You do it from downtown, and it pushes you back like you see here, but it does it in a straight line, so it kind of has like a little bit of an area like the power shot does. So it's pretty long range. You can queue it up. You can just charge it up for longer range, more damage. It just kind of... It's very easy, and you can also turn it while you're doing it. So even if the guy's like moving around, you don't have to point and click on it. It's not one of those things, but you have to click on it. That's the thing. So after 4.5 seconds, I believe, it will fire no matter what. So that seems a little overpowered in the sense that it's... I mean, assassinate, you can, you know, smoke your way out of it. You can get out of range. Invis, glimmer, like you have other styles. This one will fire no matter what. So it's like power shot in that sense, but it's not as simple as the power shot. Well, in a way it is. I think. I mean, Power Shot is like you point on it and then it'll click, but you can't actually turn it when you're charging it up, right? So it actually is a little bit easier. Plus, seeing as that you're ranged and you want to be as far away from enemies as possible, the fact that it pushes you back seems a little overpowered, right? So this hero, I think right now, if you want to win free MMR, this is the hero to go, right? If you can somehow manage to finagle it away from the enemy team or even from your own team, I think this is the way to go, and it's not banned, right? This is going to be a first pick or like banned for sure, and if it just happens to be lucky and you get through, this hero is very strong, especially now. I think 254 is where you're going to see it. I think you need some sort of items to do a little bit more damage, but the potential to outplay is great with the stun and the damage just kind of adding in. It seems like a better Weaver, Windranger, you know, that style of type. And the fact that he has scurry, like this is the biggest thing about like sniper, right? He stands and shoots, and yeah, he's got shrapnel, he slows things down. But like if you get on top of him, he's pretty much screwed, right? This one has the potential for you have the Acorn Shot, you have scurry, you have different ways to kind of get away. So he does everything that those guys do, but more. So the potential for outplay is quite high. This is a strong hero. Definitely play it. Spam it out in 7.28.